A lot of time people come asking for tips into investing into land and tips about making money in land. So here is the golden tip. The only tip that I can give investors into land is there are no tips, right? You have to use a common sense approach into investing into land. Now, the biggest secret about land is to spot the opportunity well in advance, well in time, and better to buy off-plan land, as in land for agriculture land which has not yet been zoned for any particular purpose. The moment you buy land and then the zoning happens in a year and a half, two, from the day you bought the land, you have already doubled your money. Now, from having zoned the land and then creating a product or a project on it, you have quadrupled your money. That is the biggest secret of investing into land. While it sounds so very easy and simple to talk about such opportunities, it is very necessary to be sure of one thing, which is that you want to invest into land as a product, right? We had once done a survey about investments into real estate. What we found was very startling, namely, just about 16% of the people who were surveyed then, the sample size was pretty decent, and it was restricted to the investors in the real estate business. Only about 16% of the total investors had even ever considered investing into land. Now, the reason that they thought that they did not look at land as an investment, first of all, they said, we do not know how to figure out which is the best investment product within the land. Should we look for projects? Should we look for plots? Should we look for agriculture land? Or should we look for equity into a zoned piece of land, etc., etc. The second bit was we do not know who are the credible players in this business. Now, that is where we as an organization at Certis found the niche opportunity for a super specialized organization on land. Now, having said that, these investors also did recognize the fact that your highest yield on your investment comes from land, followed by residential projects, then commercial, and then retail, and of course, niche products have their own investment avenues and returns. Now, why should one invest into land? The simple answer is, if you want to have the highest yield or at least 20% higher IRR than any other product, then you should look at land. Having said that, there is one word of caution, which is that leveraged money should never be used in land. You should only look at land if you are sure about the time horizon, the investment size, and of course, the land as a product. Now, here is an example of how one can actually look at money. I'll give you clear instances or share instances where certain people whose identities I cannot reveal, these are institutions or corporate houses who walked into land parcels much ahead in time. For example, the Delhi Master Plan. The Master Plan was on the drawing board from the year 2004 till 2007. In 2007, it was notified. In 2010, the zonal plans were notified. In 2013, the land pooling policy was invited for the public to participate in. In 2013, the farmhouse policy or the country homes policy was unveiled by the government. In June 2013, it was notified. But all these 6 past years, different investors walked in at different timelines. If you want to really understand the yield, one who invested in 2007 at a time when the market was just about recognizing this opportunity has already gained 6 times the returns on the investment then. Now, yes, one can compare the Sensex, the other investment tools, the equity market, the other markets, but nobody would have made this kind of returns on a patient capital. Now, that is the kind of returns. Now, it's not that everybody who entered land has made a profit. A lot of people did not meet their reward expectation. Why was that? That was because they went on hearsay of hearsay and invested their money rather than take a very pragmatic, practical, knowledge-driven approach. Now, here at Certis, that is what we do for a living. We take a knowledge-based approach. We research, we understand every bit of document that is released from any of the government departments. We understand the local bylaws, we understand the rules and regulations, interpret it to the benefit of our clients, and then advise them on the investments. Not only are we talking about just assistance on investments, we are also talking about transaction. We are talking about hand-holding the investor till the land is registered and mutated in their favor. Now that goes a long way. Yeah, tomorrow if the investor wants a much greater level of assistance, namely taking a boundary wall, planting trees, putting the land to some credible use, all of it we are part of. Let me return back to the subject of why invest in land. Why invest in land is such a peculiar question, because most often it is talked more in the negative spirit. Land is something which is always bought, never sold. Hence, only if you are convinced, come to land. And if you want to be a part of the largest, biggest real estate opportunity that this country is going to unveil, then look at the Delhi Master Plan 2021. Else, please stick to what you have been doing, and if you are satisfied with your returns that you have been making in other projects, feel good about it, and let's talk land when you are ready.